What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my show, From the Sideline. I'm your host, Joshua Giron, and on my show, we interview coaches and athletes all throughout Cal State LA, try to get to know them on a deeper level than just knowing their name and what sport they play or coach. And on this week's episode, we have a fantastic conversation with one of your star volleyball players, Ayjah Landers. We're going to give a round of applause real quick, let that kind of sink in a little bit. Really appreciate Ayjah coming out here and interviewing with me today. If you guys are interested in going out to any volleyball games or any sporting event in the future, head over to lagoldeneagles.com/sports. Check out the schedule we have there for all of our athletes, all of our sports that we have coming up, and try to make it out one weekend. Maybe you're not doing too much, you don't have too much homework, you don't have work that weekend. Go out to a game and support your Golden Eagles because, you know, they work hard. We have some great athletes here, some great coaches here, and they would love to see a stands full of people supporting them. So, with that being said, here is my interview with Ayjah Landers. I want to start off with your coach as well, saying, where are you from? Where were you born and where were you raised? I know some people are born in one place and raised in another. Where are you from?
Yeah, so I was born in Pomona, but I spent most of my life in Lancaster. It's about like an hour and 20 away from here.
Yeah, I got you.
And so I've grown up there my entire life. I'm really familiar with there. I haven't really spent a lot of time anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And so I was born in Lancaster and I went to Quartz Hill, a popular school in like the Antelope Valley. And so then I did that. And then after that, I'm here. And I just recently moved to Texas. So now on the breaks, I'll be going there and experiencing that. I was there last summer or this recent summer, and it was cool. It was definitely different than LA, but I liked it a lot. So that's where I'm at right now.
So you said you were born in Pomona. You grew up there a little bit, or you kind of pretty much immediately went to Lancaster and spent most of your life there?
I was born in Pomona and then spent a couple years in Rancho. Like very young. Like I have no recollection of any of that time, but I spent a couple of years there and then I moved to Lancaster and I stayed in like the same house for like 10 to 12 years. Yeah.
Gotcha. How was it growing up in Lancaster? What was it like? I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty small. Mm-hmm. There's like a lot of people, like everyone knows everyone. And I kind of like that. Like I loved living there. I liked seeing like everyone I knew at the stores and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not like extremely small, but it's relatively like a good size. So I really enjoyed it.
It's interesting that you say that because I feel like I know, or especially being at LA, I just hear a lot of people from Lancaster. It's surprising, actually. But, a lot of people, I'm from there. I'm like, so I know kind of generally where it's at. I know it's kind of far, but I've never been there personally. Is it like, kind of like it has its own little main downtown, or is it all really kind of small town feel?
So it's desert. So there's not like too much to do. Like they throw like in August, they throw like the fair. Yeah. They'll have that little thing, but there's no downtown. There's no like place where there's like tall buildings or anything like that. Yeah. Everything is relatively small. The tallest buildings we have is probably the mall. And even then the mall isn't even that great there. But I kind of like how like small it is. Yeah. And like I love living in like big cities, New York, all that. But like I really like how like it just feels homey there. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I totally get that. Like it's like it's different. It's like a more personal kind of upbringing, I guess. Yeah. As I grew up in LA, so like I wasn't like in downtown all the time, but like suburbs outside of LA. So it's such a huge place. We have so many cities. Like I'll tell people, I really spent a lot of my life growing up in Monterey Park, and I'm not even lying to you. It's like 5 minutes away from Cal State LA, and still a bunch of people are like, "Oh, where's that?" And it's kind of interesting. So it's super close. It's small city, but growing up here, it's just like there's so many little towns and cities around. So it's like. It's easy. I said it last week on talking with your coach. I said it's like growing up in being a small fish in a big pond kind of thing. It's there's so many people here, especially it's LA. So it's like I'd say I'm from LA, but I always I'm iffy on it too, because I'm like, I don't want to just claim that I'm from, like, I didn't grow up in downtown, but I definitely grew up 15 minutes from LA, east of LA, I guess that's kind of what I say. So growing up in elementary school and stuff, did you play volleyball, like, early?
Yeah, so I started playing volleyball in 6th grade, and I really didn't want to play. Like, it was not, I had a passion for gymnastics and dance at the time, so I thought I was going to go in that direction, but I was very tall at that age, so it just didn't work out. My sister played volleyball, was like, you should try, like, you'll be good at it. And I was like, no, like, you guys just want me to play because my sister's playing, like, I don't want to do this. And then I played, and I just was like, oh, like, I really enjoy playing it. And so then I played from 6th grade, club and middle school, or club and high school throughout until now. So I've been playing for about 8 to 9 years.
Wow. Okay.
And I haven't pursued like any other sport besides that.
Yeah, I know some. I know a gymnast from UCLA, and she had started gymnastics like at 3, and she never played another sport. And I was like, I mean, I think that's what you have to do to get to that level. You know, UCLA or even Cal LA playing volleyball. Like to be at this level, you got to play for a long time.
Yeah.
And so you didn't want to do it at first. When you started playing volleyball, did you immediately stop gymnastics and dance and stuff?
So at the time I was doing dance, gymnastics, I did basketball, I did soccer for a little, like I was doing a bunch of different sports, just trying to figure out which one I liked. And so up until I'd say about around 8th grade is when I decided to stop doing any like extra activities. And then high school, I completely focused on volleyball, and I wasn't doing anything else.
Gotcha. Do you have a favorite sport that isn't volleyball? Like, now, obviously, you love volleyball, I'm sure. But even your coach was saying last week, like, he was a professional volleyball player, but he still, to this day, he's like, no, basketball is still in my heart, you know? How do you, do you have a sport that you're like, yeah, this is still what I love the most, but I just play volleyball?
I'd probably say gymnastics. Okay. I don't know why. It's just that was like literally my dream is to be like a Olympic gymnast, and unfortunately my height set me back. But I'd say that I would still be able to watch, understand, do anything involving gymnastics. I'd probably be interested. So that would probably be my overall like favorite thing to do or watch. But I just decided to choose volleyball because of the height situation.
I gotcha. I know I could kind of judge how tall you are, but for people listening, how tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
Okay. Yeah.
And so they're relatively like 5'2", 5'3". And I've been the same. I've been around 5'7" to 5'9" since I was like a freshman. Yeah. And so I haven't grown since then. So I was tall at a really young age. Yeah. And so then that's what kind of like gave a little pushback.
That's funny. It's like an opposite problem for me. I was a basketball player. And, you know, starting off high school, I was like, I'm going to the league. I'll make it happen, you know? And then I stayed at 5'9" and never grew. So I was like, you know, I was wishing I could have got some extra height, and you were maybe wishing you stayed a little smaller.
Exactly.
That's funny. What is it about the height that kind of deters people from I know obviously the smaller you are, the easier it is to kind of go up and stuff. But I know there are some gymnasts who are a little bit taller. What is it that, like for you, did someone tell you like, oh, you're just too tall? Or was it like, it's kind of hard. I'm taller, so it's a little bit harder to do certain things. Yeah,
so it was a little harder to do certain things. Like as far as bars, like you can get deductions if like any part of your body hits the bar. And so my legs were just long. And so anytime I did like a movement or something, my legs would always hit the bar. And it just wouldn't work. And then one time I flew off the vault because I was longer than the pad, and I was just like, I literally can't keep doing this. So I was just like, honestly, maybe it's time for me to focus on something else that I could do better.
I got you. Did you always want to continue to be an athlete? Was it like, you know, obviously you said 8th grade you went to volleyball. Were you like, all right, cool, this is my, like, I want to go and play high school and then go to college and play? Did you just want to pick a sport to eventually play, you know, at a higher level? Or was it just kind of having fun playing sports? You realized you were good at volleyball and decided to keep going?
Yeah, no, I think I've always wanted to go far in some sort of athletic. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter what it is. I just knew that I wanted to play a sport and I wanted to be good at it. And then I was like, okay, volleyball. And then I just worked super hard at volleyball and was like, okay, well, it looks like I'm going to volleyball. But I've always wanted to like focus on one sport and be good at one sport and try to go far with that.
Yeah, that's probably a smart way to look at it. I think once I started playing basketball, I was like, that's it. Basketball is everything. But I was joking last week too, like I would jump and they would make fun of me, like, you know, you could barely slip a piece of paper under you when you jump, you know. I don't think it was that bad. I think I had moments where, you know, there was a time where I blocked a dunk. I'm not trying to like hype it up. I barely touched it a little bit, but I could jump every now and then. Yeah. But yeah, no, I didn't have the athleticism, speed, or nothing like that. Like I was 5'9", and around this area, it's just like there aren't that many tall people like around where I grew up, at least when I went to high school. So I was center. I was like the center. I was the biggest guy on the court. So we would go play teams, and I remember playing a couple guys who were like 6'5", 6'7", and I held my own a little bit. I think my dad will argue that I did okay. He used to go to all my games, but you know, it's tough. I think once you're 5'9", it's like, you know, give up the basketball. Yeah, for sure. Growing up, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, so I have 2 siblings, a sister and a brother. My brother did basketball his whole entire life. was going to go super far with basketball. Then he was actually at 24 and he was playing and someone hurt his knee and it broke off a piece of his cartilage and now he can't play again.
Dang.
And so he's done with that. He'll be moving to Texas to stay with my mom. And so that kind of hurt him a little bit. So he's like trying to get out of that little rut.
Yeah.
So he's no longer doing any sports. And then my sister, she did volleyball for a little bit and then she stopped and now she went to Long Beach, graduated from Long Beach, and now she's in at Illinois.
Oh, okay.
And so she's trying to get her PhD right now. She's like the smartest person I know. She's literally 22 and is getting her PhD. So it's insane.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And so she wants to be a chemistry professor.
Oh,
and so she's like in the lab doing all those things that they do that I don't understand, but she's in there and she's doing really well too. And so those are my only two siblings.
Gotcha. Growing up, were you guys close? Did you guys play a lot of sports together? What was the difference in age? You said at 24. Would you mean at 24 Hour Fitness to your brother?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, 24 hours.
That's what I thought you meant,
yeah.
but I thought you meant also maybe his age was 24. So at 24 Hour Fitness that happened. What was it? What's the age difference between you and your siblings?
So ironically, my brother is 24, and so that's ironic. And then my sister, she's 22, and so they're relatively close in age, and we're a little bit farther apart. But there was, because of the age difference, there wasn't any setback. I'm 18, turning 19 in a couple days. So, but growing up, we didn't really play sports together. We spent a lot of our time like watching music videos on like TV or watching cartoons or something like that. We went on a lot of hikes with my dad, and so that was something that we would do often. And then as far as that, it's just the regular like sibling bonding, like the sock fights and all those like weird things that you do when you're young.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
it was cool. I enjoyed my childhood. I'm relatively close with both of my siblings, so that's nice.
That's good. Did you have any pets growing up?
Yeah, so I had a bunch. There's a point where I had 8 cats and 3 dogs.
Oh, wow. So you're a real pet family.
Yeah, sure. And that didn't work out, as you probably can tell. But,
yeah.
So then we ended up giving some of them away. We had other dogs, and then we'd give them away, get a new dog. It just, I don't know. But right now we have a German Shepherd.
Okay.
And her name's Grace. And she's I'd say, like our main dog right now.
Yeah.
And so we've had her for the last 3 years and try to train her to be guard dog training, because she's a German Shepherd, might as well.
Yeah.
And so she's pretty well behaved, and now she lives with my mom in Texas.
Okay, gotcha. Was that hard for you, like letting go of some of the animals, like having to kind of give up animals and keep animals? Was it tough at first?
Yeah, that was like the hardest part about my childhood. I feel like it was literally heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And what's funny is this summer we got 2 puppies, and I was babysitting them the whole summer, and one was going to go to my sister. She was going to drive down and get it, and the other one my mom was going to keep. But the one that my mom was going to keep, we had to give away because Grace, my German Shepherd, is going to go with her now, and we couldn't have the 2. The puppy was too little, and Grace is just too big, and she just doesn't. We didn't want to try see if anything would happen, and so we had to give him away, and that was still like the hardest thing ever. And I'm like 18, and I was literally crying about it. I'm like, no, it's the dog.
Yeah,
but it was super challenging, and when I am older, I'm gonna make sure that I don't do that because I literally can't. It's just so hard. It's so hard for me.
What was the reason why? Like, did your parents just kind of like have a bunch of animals, or did they they have a couple of pets and then they had babies, or what was the reason for having like 8 cats or whatever? So
it was when I was in gymnastics at the time, and the cats had no home, and so my gymnastics coach was like, oh, there's these cats, blah, 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 take them. And so we took them. I don't know why we took them. I really don't understand how.
We can take care of 8.
Yeah, I don't know. And so then we took them, and then we had the dogs, and we realized, like, this is not going to work. Yeah. And so then we gave them away, and then we had our 2 other dogs, and then my mom decided she wanted a guard dog. And so then we had to give those ones away to get the guard dog.
Gotcha.
And so then that's how little things to make them go back to wherever.
For sure. That makes some sense. That's funny. I have a little dog. Her name's Jeannie. She's a little like terrier. Me and all my siblings, our names start with a J.
Oh, okay.
And so even my nephews and nieces now, like my oldest brother, he's like 10 years older than me. So he has 4 kids, all start with J's. And so we're trying to keep it going. So even my dog, Jeannie, she starts with a J. Cute little dog. She's obviously not a guard dog. She's tiny. But I actually feel safe when she's home because she barks at everything.
Yeah. Oh.
And so like I'm never like you hear weird noises at home, whatever. Like when you're home alone, I never freak out because I'm like if she's not going crazy barking, then I'm good.
Yeah. Exactly.
She's pretty good at
it. Works.
Going
it
out
works.
For sure. So going to high school, what high school did you say you went to?
I went to Quartz Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that? Did you like that high school? Was it just a public school or?
Yeah, it was a public school. It's funny because my assistant coach Alexis, she went there too. So she's from there. But
is she like in the Hall of Fame there and stuff?
Yeah. She's pretty known there.
Yeah. Your coach was telling me that she was pretty incredible as well as a player.
Yeah, she's awesome. She really is awesome. I'm super fortunate to have her as a coach. But I went there and it was a cool experience. It was nothing. The coaching wasn't like amazing, I would say there, but it was relatively good. It taught me the things that I needed to know, and it kind of prepared me for college in a way. But my sophomore year, we had an amazing team. Like all of the girls ended up going D1, and so we actually won CIF that year, which was really cool. And so then we got our rings and everything, and then after that, we weren't as strong, and because of COVID, it was just like the whole situation. So I didn't really have a senior season or like some of my junior. I just played club. But overall, I really enjoyed the school. I loved the teachers. Everything was cool. I made like some of my best friends there. So that's nice. But I'd say it was a pretty good school compared to there's a bunch of schools in the area that you wouldn't necessarily want to go to. And Quartz Hill wasn't one of them.
Gotcha.
So I'm glad I was able to go.
It's actually interesting you say that. My next question was going to be, because you are 18, I know that's pretty recent. Pandemic happened. How did that affect your high school, experience? And, were you worried at any point of like about playing? Like, am I not going to be seen as much because I'm not playing high school, or as taken seriously as an athlete? Yeah,
no, I was extremely happy about the quarantine as far as school, but as far as volleyball, I was really stressed because I was like, I need to get recruited. There's no playing. There's nothing I can do. The only footage I have is from like a year or two ago. They're going to want more recent footage and all of that. So it was very challenging. I was very nervous that I might have to take a gap year or something because there's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
But thankfully I was able to put together something. I don't know how I did. I was able to put together something to send to like various coaches and see like, hey, like I'm looking to play, like this is what I can do, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately it worked out and I was able to come here.
Yeah.
But it was a little challenging, and very stressful trying to figure out where I'm going to go. A lot of schools didn't have money because of COVID, and I just knew I needed money, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. But thankfully it all worked out.
Yeah, for sure. That's super interesting. And like the process of getting recruited, typically, do scouts just come out and kind of come to some games? Like when you were watching some of your teammates, you said you had a really good team with maybe some D1 players. Were there just scouts coming out to you guys' games and like, just talking to them and their parents? Or was it like what you were doing, a little bit of a combination where like some of the players were getting reels together to send to schools or whatever? How was that process? I've never been recruited, so.
So most of the time it works is like you have your games, you there's certain club teams who are known to be better, so there will be college coaches coming to watch those teams just because they already know there could be someone potentially there. But the way I did it is I recorded myself and then I sent it out to any schools that I wanted and said, hey, this is my name, my age, all of that stuff. And then they would be like, okay, let me see your schedule.
Gotcha.
And then that's when they would then come to the games or do whatever. But as far as the girls on my team, some of them were already recruited, so their college coaches would come just to watch them. And then others of them were still in the recruiting process of sending videos out and trying to figure out where they were going to go to.
Gotcha. And I'm sure you love Cal State LA. I love Cal State LA.
Yeah.
But what was your dream school before Cal State LA, if it wasn't Cal State LA?
Yeah, so I was talking to Idaho. That was my main top D1 school that I really wanted, the University of Idaho, not Idaho State. And so I was really passionate on going there. And then I was also super close to committing to MSU Denver.
Okay.
They have an amazing campus, amazing gym, amazing team. Like they're always the top teams. And we actually could possibly see them if we go far this year. And so those two were my top two schools. I was like, okay, if I don't go to MSU, I'm going to go to Idaho. If I don't go to Idaho, I'm going to go to MSU.
Yeah.
But then just Cal State LA just popped up, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just try it, and thankfully it worked out.
Yeah, for sure. What made it? What was it about University of Idaho and MSU that obviously I know you said the campus you like?
Yeah.
MSU Denver, you said?
Yes.
Denver's a beautiful city. I love Denver.
It's amazing. It's literally amazing. That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to go to MSU Denver, is because it's just beautiful there. Like, I know it's cold, but I was willing to tough it out. I just loved it.
I think I was lucky because I went to like a Lakers game out there once, just a couple years ago, and I fell in love with it. I thought I liked the weather too. Like, it's cold, but I liked it. I mean, maybe it was just the time I went, because it wasn't like full out snowing when I went.
Yeah.
But there was like some ice on the floor and stuff, so it was like 60 degrees, but it felt like 40. I mean, it was really cold, but I liked it. You know, like I love LA. LA has the best weather ever for sure.
Yeah.
But when it gets hot, it's still hot. You know, and it's not humid for sure. The sun's just beating on you. It's not as hot as some places, but it still gets hot here, and I hate the heat. Like, I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather wear 3-4 sweaters, you know, and be warm than or try to be warm than the heat. So that's cool. Denver's cool. So, and what about you said University of Idaho? What'd you like about it?
Their campus was like literally like nothing I've seen before. Like their gym, their campus, their weight room, everything about it was like the ideal, like, oh, D1, like we get so much stuff, but as their record wasn't as strong, they are not like one of the strongest D1 schools, but as far as their campus, and I really enjoyed talking to the girls on the team. They all liked me. I really enjoyed the coach. It just seemed like it could possibly work. Their assistant coach was super cool, and she played at the Olympic level too, so it was pretty cool to like talk with her and her give me advice as far as like recruiting and volleyball. So that's why I thought I was gonna go there.
And did they like outright just say no to you, or was it like Cal LA popped up, you came here and you were like, you know what, I'll just go to
so I was in the process of talking to like all three at the same time, and I was offered at Cal State LA. Like I was offered like the day of. He was like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, well, this is, like, I literally just got an offer. As much as I want to go to a D1 school, and I knew Cal State LA already had an amazing team just because I already saw they played, I already looked at all the videos of them. And I was like, okay, this might be a better fit for me as far as, like, culturally, as far as, like, being in LA, I'm closer to my family. And so then I just decided overall that Cal State LA was probably the better decision.
Gotcha. Growing up, did you come to LA at all every now and then, you know, for some, you know, maybe a sporting event or whatever? Or did you guys come down to LA a lot?
Yeah, so my family actually lives in LA. And so my grandma lived out here. She was always out here, my cousins, everyone. So I was here often. And my dad lives in San Bernardino. So he's not very far from here. So we'd be going back and forth. So I did spend a lot of time in LA growing up, I'd say. It's mainly because of my grandma. That's where she lived, and we would always just be at her house. But I'd say I spent a lot of time here growing up.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I was going to ask, like, maybe was it, you know, was that part of the draw to Cal State LA? Like, oh, it's LA. Like, maybe you've never been here really that much, but obviously being from Lancaster, I'm sure you've been here a lot. So how do you like LA?
I like it a lot. It's definitely, like, different than Lancaster, I'd say, but I was already kind of familiar with how LA was from growing up, just going, like, back and forth. But I like it a lot. I've learned how to, like, move around and move my way around, and just learned to focus on the things I need to focus on and not let all the other stuff get, like, caught up in my head. But overall, I really like it. I've really enjoyed my teammates. I'm close with all of them. And so I think it all really worked out well. Yeah. Yeah, I really, really enjoy it here.
Yeah. LA is cool. I was talking to someone recently who was from Indianapolis, and he was like, LA is overrated. I'm like, I could see that. Yeah. I could see that. But it's also, I feel like, especially if you're from somewhere that's like small town-ish, there's just it's such a difference in how much you can do here. Like, I grew up here, and there's like, every week I'm like, what? That's a restaurant I've never been to, or like that's a, you know, something we can do that's cool around here that I've never done before. Yeah, there's just so much to do here. That's why I love it. I don't know if I could ever leave. Do you see yourself, obviously, you know, continuing to play volleyball and maybe going off? I mean, I don't know how it works, because I know there's a professional level to volleyball, but what is that like? Are you interested in being a professional volleyball player? And then what is it like to get to that level?
Yeah, so that's a hard question. I need to really think about that. I've been trying to think about whether I want to go farther after these 4 years. I'm not 100% sure yet. I could try to go pro and take that route and, like, do whatever I'm going to do with that. But right now I'm thinking of just starting my career. Like, I want to just get started and just do whatever I need to do to get where I need to be. I don't want to push back my career anymore. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to lead towards just starting my career as soon as I finish rather than going pro. Just because I feel like me starting my career is a priority for me. And so I'd rather just focus on that. And if an opportunity comes up and they're like, hey, like we would want you, or we see potential in you to play pro or whatever, I'd consider taking it depending on what it is. But for right now, I think I'm leaning more towards after my 4th year going to just start my career.
Well, what is your career? What is do you have a major picked out already? And what is the career plan for you?
Yeah, so my major is exercise science, and I want to do personal training and athletic training. So I originally wanted to do physical therapy, but I just love like working with athletes. I've always done sports my whole life, so I've realized that I want to work. I still want to be in the sports world, and I also love traveling. Like I really want to travel everywhere I can, and as part of an athletic trainer, you travel with your team, and so that was another way that I could be exposed to traveling more. And so I was like, I think that might be a better decision for me. And physical therapy focuses more on rehab, and I wanted to focus more on treatment. And so that's why I also decided to go with athletic training. And then as far as personal training, I just love working out and love being in that environment. And I want to like help people get to their goals in like the most positive way possible. And so that's when I then decided, okay, I'm going to do personal training.
Gotcha. And is it going to be like, is your plan maybe focusing on volleyball players or just college athletes in general, or wherever you can kind of get in any level of personal training? Yeah,
any level. I honestly want to work with any athlete or anyone who's not an athlete and just wants to like start getting into like the workout rhythm. But I'm open to working with literally anyone, anywhere someone would take me or be like, hey, like you could do this, I'm going to take 100%. And so I just am in the process of volunteering in our training room. And so within the next 3 weeks, I'll be like getting hands-on and doing that to see like, okay, is this really what I want to do? So that's cool. But I'm thinking just whatever I can get, I'm going to take.
Obviously, and you're just starting, so you have time to think for sure and explore. That's kind of the whole point of taking a bunch of classes, right, to explore other alternatives. I mean, it kind of sounds similar to what a coach can do. Do you ever interested in coaching, maybe? Coaching volleyball to any level?
I'm not exactly sure if I would want to coach. I love volleyball. I love the sport of volleyball, but I don't know why I've just never, like, thought of being a coach and was like, yeah, that's something that I really want to do. That may change throughout the years, but for right now, that's not really something that I'm very interested in. I'm more interested in as far as like the athletic training and the personal training. Like I have a true like passion for those two things. I don't really have like a passion for coaching.
No, I totally get it. It's also maybe because you're in the middle of playing too, and you're kind of barely starting, I guess. You know, what's your first season, right? Or second season?
Yeah, second.
So, you know, you're just starting in the middle of it. I'm sure you're focused on playing. I mean, obviously different levels of athlete, but when I was playing in high school and stuff, I never thought about coaching, and now actually just recently, I was hired to be a high school basketball coach. Yeah, girls high school basketball coach. So thank you. Appreciate it. I'm excited about that. But it's one of those things like I didn't think about until I stopped playing. And I was like, I still want to be involved in basketball to some level. And I coached a little bit, like recreation, like teams and things like that. And then I realized, this is actually really fun, you know? So, you know, maybe some point down the road, maybe when you finish playing for sure. If you want to still be involved in volleyball, I'm sure it's gonna be hard to like let go eventually one day, right? To stop playing volleyball and to stop being around volleyball in general. That must be tough. So as a player and as an athlete here at Cal State LA specifically, what's your experience like? I mean, do you live on campus or close to campus? And how has it been here at Cal State LA as an athlete?
Yeah, so I live on campus. I really enjoy it here. Like the school is starting to get a little bigger, but the school is relatively small-ish. So it's nice seeing like familiar people. I'm really close to a lot of the other athletes, thankfully. And so I'm also in SAC, and I'm in SAC so that I can get closer with the athletes and talk more to the athletes.
What is that for people who don't know what SAC is?
So SAC is basically like, if you think of ASB, but for athletes and not as like ASB, if that makes sense. So like we help like plan events like on the 22nd, we have an event where it's like all the athletes together, people who aren't athletes can come as well. And there's going to be like games and like music and things in the gym. So we just help unite like all the athletes to the people who aren't athletes.
Gotcha.
We're like trying to connect the two.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and so I wanted to do that this year. Last year I didn't do it because I was a freshman just getting into the groove. But this year I decided like I want to be as involved as possible. And so I decided to do that, and that's been really nice. We've been having our meeting, and it's really cool. Like helping, like we try to plan March Madness and like those type of things. So it's really cool. I really enjoy it, and I like bonding with the other athletes. And as far as Cal State LA, I love it here. I really haven't had any issues. I love Wanchi. I love Alexis. Like my coaching staff, Judith. I love all of them. They're great coaches, and they've helped me develop like not only as a player but as a person. And so I'm really appreciative of them, and it's really nice here. I haven't had any like professors that have been like too weird. Most of them have been pretty understanding with my schedule, and so everything's been pretty good. I've really haven't had like any issues here. It's
super interesting you bring up SAC. I actually never heard of it. That's why kind of why I asked you to explain it. But that's interesting because my whole thing about doing this show, my whole plan was to hopefully anyone listening, to kind of get in, get more in touch with our athletes here on campus. I feel like we have so many talented athletes, coaches as well, and it kind of goes under the radar a little bit. It's to the general student body. And I understand we're a commuter school and not everybody lives on campus or close to campus. I'm one of those students, who when I'm out of class, I want to get home. Like I'm trying to drive home. Like I'm not trying to do anything here on campus. And this is my last semester, so I'm trying to be a little bit more involved, but it does take a little bit of effort for sure for people out there. Like I totally understand because again, I'm in that same boat. But the hope is that those students who maybe don't work part-time jobs or full-time jobs, who have some time on their hands, even if they don't live on campus, maybe come and be more involved, go to our sporting events and stuff. How do you feel about the fan support here at Cal State LA? Does the general student body, support you guys, or do you feel it could be better? Yeah,
I honestly feel like it's improving. Like last year, like people were getting back from COVID and all that thing, so it was a little bit more understandable of why like not a lot of people were at the games and all the different restrictions. But as far as this year, I feel like it's been a lot more supportive as far as like the students. Like there'll be people in the elevator and be like, "Harry, on the volleyball team, like when's your next game?" Like I've had like at least 2 people every day for the past week
really
ask me like, "When's your game? When's your game?"
Wow,
and then. Cool. I went into the student services building and they had our game written on the board. Like it seems like people are really starting to get more involved, which is really cool. Like I think that's awesome. And the more support we have, the better we play, and then the better our record and the better everything. So I honestly think it's really improving. As I feel like we as athletes don't need to promote though, like because they won't know unless we promote. Like, that's the only way. So we're starting to promote a little more and like try to make everyone more exposed to like what we're doing, and I feel like that's paying off. And I know that more people are starting to come to the games, and more people are starting to be like, "Oh, like who are these people? Like let me go see if they're good." You know what I mean? So it's really nice. It's cool.
Yeah, no, I think it has gotten better. I've gone to a couple of your guys' games, and I've seen, I was like, oh, wow, there's a decent amount of people in here. So I think it is getting better. I think it still can get better, but that's kind of the goal with this, hopefully get the word out when you guys play and things, and just to general meet athletes on campus. Like I said, like last year we had a soccer player who signed to LAFC's, team. So we have some talent. Yeah. Do you know him?
Yeah. Because he worked in the weight room too, and so our teams and the other teams are pretty familiar with him.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I just think there's a lot of talent here, and we should support it. For me, it's like I don't see why, and I get it. Like USC, UCLA, D1 schools. It's a huge school. Even if you're not going to that school, like I know people who never even step foot on campus, but they're diehard USC fans or whatever, or UCLA fans. But for people who come here, I would assume when you go to the school, you have at least a little bit of pride in like, this is my school. Let me represent and go to the games and support as much as possible. So that the hope is we can get that out a little bit more. So as a student athlete, do you feel there's how do you balance like academics and being an athlete? Is it tough? I'm sure some days are harder than others.
Yeah, so it was definitely tough. This year I tried to take on 16 units, and that was the worst decision I've ever made. So I had to drop my chem class and my anatomy class just because it's just too much. And so I got 2 classes are a little bit more of a like lesser load. And so now I'm going to be trying to do the volleyball and then do my classes that have been like reduced. And then I'm also trying to get a job off campus just because I enjoy working. I got a job this summer and I really enjoyed it. And so I applied for the job a couple days ago, and hopefully I'm going to hear back from them. And then I'm going to try to start my training in the room. So it is a little challenging to balance, but I'm a big scheduler. And so I really like scheduling things and be like, okay, at this time we're going to do this, and then at this. And so thankfully I am that way. So it really has helped me as far as like being on top of my stuff. But without the scheduling and the planners and sitting down and being like, okay, you need to get this done, I feel like it would be a lot more challenging.
Yeah, I'm the worst at that. I'm getting better, like just because I need to. Like I just out of necessity. Like I have times, especially now, like I'm doing the radio show, right? So I've been hitting people up. Like I have coaches lined up for the next month, or coaches and athletes, just because I'm like, I need to know when, and like so I can block that out. Exactly, I do work a part-time job, so like not working that, make sure I don't have work that day or whatever it is, or class or things like that. So I get busy, super busy. So I can only imagine as an athlete how tough it might be to try to stay on top of. You said you worked out this morning. Was that like a team workout? Because you guys,
no,
just personal.
Yeah, personal. Just I don't know. I just felt the need, and I just enjoy it. So I'm like, might as well. Helps me get stronger. Helps me work a little harder. A little harder. So
do they feel any type of way about like stuff like that? Like you guys maybe warning you guys, don't burn yourself out too much. I know you have practices and you have games. Today you have a game at the day we're recording this. And like, do coaches ever tell you guys, hey, make sure you take advantage of your off days? Kinda.
Actually, it's kind of the opposite. Right now, we don't have a weights coach.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of a challenge. And so he's like, you guys need to find time to like try to put in the work. I'm not he hasn't said anything about working out on game days, but I just want to. So I'm going to just I just really want to. I feel like
he's going to listen right now and be
I know.
But like, really, morning of the game, you're going to work out.
And so I just want to. I feel like the only way to really get better is to get stronger and then put in that extra work. And so I'm going to just do that. But he wants us to try to find a time to fit in. The only way we're going to get stronger is to work out. Like, playing is great, but we do need to incorporate some sort of like fitness. And so sometimes he'll have us like go on the track and do a little like workout or something to like keep us in shape, keep us moving. But he's relatively, he wants us. I'd say he wants us to work out.
Yeah,
not
I gotcha.
Crazy workout, but I'm sure he wants us to.
No, I'm just curious because like I've never been, and I know a lot of people listening have never been college athletes, so I'm curious if there is like a strict like make sure you're not doing this on certain times or days and things. It sounds like not really too much. What about food and stuff? Like, do you just kind of, obviously you're an athlete, you're in great shape, do you kind of just whatever, or do you have a specific diet that you kind of try to stay on to? So
so now that I'm in season and the workouts, the practices are long, the workouts if we do it on the track, they're long, everything's long, I burn so many calories that I'm just like, I'm gonna eat whatever I want. I shouldn't do that. I really shouldn't. I should try to but I've been eating a bunch of candy, like a bunch. It's been crazy, but I try to eat relatively clean. Recently, I don't think it's been that clean, but I'm going to try to like chill a little bit just because I know like I don't want to set me back from my goals, but relatively, it goes up and down. It goes up and down.
When you're a college student at the end of the day, so I mean, you're gonna kind of be like, let me just go real quick. I mean, we only have Carl's Jr. and Sbarro here on campus and things like that. So I mean, it's not like you have, especially here on campus, like you have a bunch of options for you. I know you have. There's a variety. I'm not trying to say we don't, but I get it. Especially because you're so busy. I'm sure you have to just kind of let me just go grab something from down the street real quick.
Exactly.
Do you cook? Are you good at cooking?
I love cooking. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Growing up, I cooked for the family. I've like cooked the whole Thanksgiving dinner a couple years ago. Wow. So I've cooked a lot. I really enjoy it. I live in the South Village, so we have the community kitchen, and it's a little bit like annoying having to walk up and down to cook. So I don't like. Before school started and like the dining hall was open, I would cook my food. But until I live in the apartments, or if I decide to live off campus next semester, I'll be like utilizing the kitchen a lot more because it'll be literally in like I just have to walk out my room to the kitchen.
Gotcha.
It's just a little bit more challenging because the kitchen is just so far.
Okay, so you have like because I've never been to those. So this is like you have a dorm and then you have to go cook. You have to go specifically to a specific kitchen.
Yeah, there's like a community, like huge kitchen that they have down there. And so I would just have to go down and cook and do all that. And I have the dining hall and I bought the whole housing plan, whatever. So I'm just using that. So I might as well. But the food in the dining hall this year has been great.
Really?
Like they have so many options. They haven't been unhealthy. Like there's a bunch of different stuff. And so this year it's been really great. A huge improvement from last year.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. What's your favorite dish to cook? What's your go-to? Like, someone, coach is coming over for dinner. You want to, impress a little bit.
I'd probably just do tacos just because I just love tacos. And
like soft tacos or?
Soft tacos, hard tacos, whatever. Like I like making like soft tacos with carne asada.
Okay.
Like I love that. That's fire. And so I'll try to make that if I have time or just regular like ground beef tacos. I also like making Korean beef a lot. That's like probably my favorite dish. And so I'll try to make that. And then I also like making like salads with like fried egg and just like things like that. So I like pretty much making everything. I love making lasagna. Like I love making literally anything, but I'd say tacos is like my number one thing that's fast, easy, and it's good.
Yeah. No, I suck at cooking. I don't know how to cook at all. So I'm super curious. Back to back, I only had 2 interviews so far. Obviously you and your coach and both of you guys said you love cooking, but I don't know. I can't relate at all. I'm not good at it. I'm like I just need it to be quick. Yeah. Like if no one's cooking for me, then I'll go and I'm like, even if it's frozen, like I'll eat that, you know, or like most times, unfortunately, just buying out a lot, Yeah. That's just what it is, the reality. But that's interesting. Tacos is your number one.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had, I talked to your coach, asked him if he's ever cooked for like a team dinner, I think. Have you guys ever had a team dinner in general where you guys someone cooks or something, maybe like a potluck kind of thing around Thanksgiving or something? Yeah,
so last Thanksgiving, we were still in season, and so we weren't able to go home except the day of Thanksgiving, so we had to stay throughout that week. And so our team had a like Thanksgiving potluck, and so everyone brought like a Thanksgiving dish, and then we all ate that together as a team. And then when we were just in Washington like 2 weeks ago, and Wanchi's family, he has family out there, and so they cooked for the entire team. And so then our entire team ate at their house and had dinner and everything, and so it was really nice. And so we do eat together as a team pretty often. Another one of my teammates, her mom made dinner for all of us, and so we went to her house and we did all that. So I'd say we do quite a bit of team dinners together, I'd say. Did you cook your dish for the Thanksgiving? No. Okay. For Thanksgiving, I think I just brought something. Yeah, I just bought something. I don't even remember what it was. I think maybe like juice or something. Oh, okay. But yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing crazy. People made like mac and cheese and brought like rotisserie chicken and stuff like that. But I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just bring the juice. You're like something quick because like exactly. If not, I'll be late somehow. Exactly. No, I totally get that. Do you have maybe game days or just in general a specific genre of music that you enjoy going to? Obviously we're at the radio station, listen to a lot of music here. What's your go-to like genre of music, and do you have like a favorite artist? Yeah, so on game days I actually prefer to listen to worship music just because it kind of calms me. And I've grown up in a Christian household, so that's just like my roots, I'd say. And so I just feel like I need to listen to at least one song, at least something on the way there, in the shower, anything. I prefer to listen to that. And then right before I start, I'll listen to more upbeat music because I'm not trying to be sad like right before the game. So I like listen to like upbeat music. I'd say overall, my favorite artist is Drake, just because it's just Drake. Yeah, like, of course. But if not Drake, then I really like listening to Future. He's also another one of my favorite artists. Yeah, so those two I'll probably always be listening to. That's it. It's not my favorite. My favorite interview probably of the whole semester. No one ever says their favorite artist is Drake. No one ever admits it. I love Drake. I love him. I'm a Drake fan. Yeah. There was someone though recently. I was at a party one time. This is kind of embarrassing. I was at a party. I was in Hawaii. So I was meeting a couple people, and we were at like just this little dinner. And this girl that I had just met, we're talking. She's like, "Who's your favorite artist?" And I was like, "Drake." And she was like, "Oh, I could tell you're trying to look like him because I have a beard and my head is kind of shaved." And I was like, "Dang!" And everyone kind of laughed. And I was like, "Is it time to switch the hairstyle up or something? So funny. Do I got to shave the beard off? I don't know." So I got a little embarrassed for sure. But I love Drake. I'm not embarrassed to say that. I think he's a great artist, and he makes everything he makes is great. Yeah, honestly. Except maybe his last album, it wasn't. Yeah, that was...
It has like 3 or 4 songs.
He tried. Yeah, he tried. He tried. That's all that matters.
It's still Drake, so there's still 3 or 4 songs I'll listen to, but
Yeah.
I'll say that's the worst that he's done.
Yeah,
I mean, my least favorite, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm sure some people like it, but...
Yeah.
Okay, cool, Drake. And what about now? You said you had pets now. Do you have... You're going to move to Texas with your mom. Is it just going to be the German Shepherd? Is that your only pet?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be that one unless she decides to get another one, which I don't think she's going to. Grace she's a good dog. She just is chill. She doesn't really do anything, so I don't think we're going to get another one. I think she's good with just that one. I'm pretty sure.
Do you see her as more like your mom's dog or kind of your dog too?
I kind of see her more as my brother's dog, just because this last year he's lived with her, and he's like, he like pays for the vet bills. Well, him and my mom both do, but he'll like take her to the vet. He'll do those things. But I see it as like my mom and my brother's dog together. Gotcha. It used to be my dog when I was like still in high school. Like when she was a puppy, the first like year and a half, I was with her like a lot of the time. And so then I would consider her my dog. But since I left for college and I'm not really home, I now consider it more of like my brother and my mom's dog.
So do you want to get your own animal or pet at some point?
Yeah, at some point I do. When I have like a consistent job to afford whatever vet bills or whatever may go on. Because for some reason, every time we have a dog, something is
up. It's tough, yeah. I think everyone says that. They're like, because my mom complains about my dog all the time. Like, oh, she's sensitive and she has all these problems. And I'm like, I mean, I think every dog just, eventually they're going to have some stuff. I have my dog for 5 years. Yeah. And she's gone to the vet a lot for sure. But I'm like, every animal, I think. Are you dog or cat person? Because you grew up with both. So
dog for sure.
Okay.
100% dog. I think cats are a little bit too independent for me. Like they could literally go the whole day without even like saying hi. And I'm just like, that's rude. So I'm just like, I'd prefer to be with a dog. They're a lot more loving.
Yeah. I saw this video of this guy. He was gone for like 2 weeks or something like that. And comes home to his cats and zero reaction. I totally get that. I like cats. I think they're adorable.
Yeah, they are.
When I see memes of them and videos and stuff. But they don't give enough love for me. Yeah. Like my dog will just kind of... Like, I could tell my dog is just happy being in the same room as me. Exactly. You know? Versus cats, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. What's your deal, man? Can't even tell. Exactly. Like, the people who can just let their cats out in the street for, like, and just have the window open or something so the cat gets back in. I'm like, that's crazy.
It's literally
How do they survive,
crazy.
too? Like, just out there,
I don't know.
What about your favorite food? Do you have a favorite dish or maybe like a, like, is it like Italian in general food or what's your favorite food?
Thai food, for sure. I love Thai food. Curry is probably like one of my favorite dishes to eat. I've never tried to make it just because I feel like it's a little complex. I'd have to learn, but Thai food I could eat every day of the week. Like there's no limits. I just love it. And so I eat that often.
Is that something that started when you came to LA or is it like even in Lancaster you guys had some Thai food out there and it was bomb?
Even in Lancaster.
Really?
Like anywhere I'll find a Thai restaurant and I'll just attach to it. It really doesn't matter. It really does not matter where.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I've always loved Thai food from like probably before high school to now. I'll probably like if I want to treat myself, I'll get Thai food.
What's your favorite dish?
Curry. I love yellow curry. That's like so good. I'm not a big fan of red curry. I don't know why, but I like yellow curry because it's like sweet. I really enjoy it.
Are you a picky eater by any chance?
No, I only don't like a couple things. I don't like avocado and stuffing.
Horrible. How do you not like avocado? Have you ever had it like in a sandwich or like?
I cannot eat it
because people just. I think if you just took a bite of avocado, it's nasty. That to me, that's not even. I love avocado, and I would never do that. But in a sandwich, it just adds that little.
It's the texture. I don't like it. I don't like the texture in it. I feel like it. I don't even know why I don't like it, but I can't. Like I can't do guacamole. I can't do any of that.
I guess I kind of get it texture wise. I guess I kind of get it. But there's certain things like when people say like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. I try to understand. Avocado is one of those I can't really understand. But like my girlfriend is like mayonnaise. I'm like, okay, I get that. I guess I don't like pickles. I think that's reasonable.
Okay,
they're disgusting. Yeah, they're just too. It's a cucumber and pickled
and vinegar
and pickled for like a long time. That's nasty to me. Yeah. Even just the idea of that alone. Yeah. But then you pop the jar open, it smells. I'm like, I don't understand how people could ever like this. Yeah. You're a pickle person?
Yeah, I used to not be, but recently I've started getting them on like sandwiches and burgers, and I was like, wow, this actually adds something different.
No, it's nasty. To me, when I eat, like if I eat it on a burger or something, that's the only thing I taste.
Yeah, it is a super
it's super overpowering.
Yeah, it's very overpowering.
And people are like, no, it adds little. Nah, it doesn't. It's to me, I can't do it. And then the people who just eat the spicy pickles and you just kind of in a bag.
So good. Those are so good. I
don't know.
love those.
I don't understand how they do it. Being around LA, you go to like Disneyland and stuff or anything like that?
So when I was younger, I went to Disneyland once, and then I had season passes to Six Flags and to Universal.
Six Flags scares me. I'm not a roller coaster person.
So I used to not be. I'm not a big, like, I don't like drops, but if it's twists, that's fine.
Okay.
But just the drops, like, I'm not like Goliath. I'll never do. But like Tatsu, like the big orange one, and it's like very twisty.
Yeah.
I'll do that no matter how high, just because like the twisty, but the drops, that's like, I'll never go on.
So with the spins and the twists, I get like nauseous, and and then with the drops, I just feel like I can't breathe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Have you had that moment where you're about to scream and nothing's coming out? Yeah. That happens to me every time. It's not like it never fails. No matter what I'm dropping on, like I could do this ride 5 straight times, I'm gonna not breathe when it comes down to the drop, and so I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
There's certain places that I still go. Like I love Disneyland. Disneyland's cool. Like there's nothing crazy there. Even like the bigger roller coasters, nothing crazy. But even then, like the drop on like the log ride or whatever, what is it, Splash Mountain? Like that Splash drop Mountain is tough for me sometimes. You know, I still love it. I go to it all the time, but. But yeah, I'm not a roller coaster person. Yeah, but so you said you went to Six Flags. What's up with Disneyland? Are you against Disney adults or are you anti Disney adults?
I don't know why, but I've never been a big like obviously watching Disney movies growing up. That's been nice, but I've never like been like a Disney like person really like super crazy about Disney, wanting to go to Disneyland. Yeah. It's just I've never really been interested in it for some reason. So I have nothing against it. Like it's cool, it's Disneyland. But I would never spend money to go to Disneyland.
Gotcha.
If someone wants to spend it for me, that's fine. But I'll never I'll never probably buy it.
I love it. Like I go with my girlfriend now as an adult, and like my brother and his fiance were like how can you go as an adult just like you guys and with no kids? And I'm like, it's fun. Like just go, just try it. Especially if you go to like California Adventure, it's expensive for sure, but even then, like they have I'm a LA resident, so they have a SoCal discount. So the one I got, it was like a 3-day thing over like the span of 3 months. So we were able to go 3 different days. Yeah. And it was like $300 or something like that, like something not that bad.
Yeah.
And it's super fun, especially California Adventure. They have a bunch of food and like drinks you can have. Obviously, you're 18, so I guess maybe not the alcohol drinks.
Exactly. No, just the juice.
Couple years.
The juice, yeah.
But yeah, I love Disney. I love, you know what it is? I love like, I'm a Star Wars fan too. So now that they have like a Star Wars land, it's incredible. Yeah. It feels like you're there, you know?
Yeah.
There's a ride there they have. It's, I forget what it's called. Rise of the Resistance. Best ride I've ever been on in my life.
Wow.
It made me feel like I was like there, like in Star Wars. Do you have a favorite movie?
The Age of Adeline. The Age of Adeline is a really good movie, and I actually just recently watched it. Me and my teammate got McDonald's and was like, "Do you want to watch a movie in the car?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she put it on, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is like one of the best movies I've ever watched."
Give me who's in it? Is there someone that I'll know, recognize?
Blake Lively.
Okay.
She's in it, and she's like
Age of Adeline. Yeah, 2015.
It's really such an amazing movie. Like,
and this is your favorite movie?
Yeah, I think it really is. I think it really is my favorite. Besides Shrek. Shrek will like never get old. I literally love Shrek, and I could watch it like 8 times a day.
My girlfriend says that's her favorite movie too, and we've been together for 3 years. I haven't seen her watch it once, and we haven't watched it together once. So I'm like, I don't know how true that is that you like that movie that much.
But I definitely say The Age of Adeline overall. Is it
like a romance movie or?
It's a romance movie, and it's. Basically, it's this girl, she gets in a car accident and she can't age anymore. And so she keeps changing places because people are like, why aren't you like, why do you look young and you're like 100 years old? And so she has to keep changing. She finally finds someone she really likes, but he doesn't know about what's going on. And then it's just like a bunch of different things happen from there, and it's just
interesting.
It's really cool. I really enjoy it. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it really is a good movie.
I'll have to watch. Have you seen The Curious Case of Benjamin Button? Kind of sounds similar.
Yes, I did. I think I actually watched that in an English class.
Ah, okay. Yeah. That's a good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie. I enjoy that one. They're similar in a way. Definitely. They are similar in a way.
That's interesting. I didn't expect that. I expected one of the, something like, Harry Potter or something.
Yeah.
That's a specific movie. I mean, my favorite movie is it's a movie called Four Brothers with Mark Wahlberg. And part of it is because me and my brothers are four brothers. There's four of us.
Oh,
so it's kind of like, that's part of it. It has nothing to do with the movie, though. Like the movie, they're like adopted brothers. And so it's like a crime kind of movie, I guess. But super good. I think underrated movie. If you ever have time, watch Four Brothers. It's a great movie.
Okay.
We're coming to the end here. This will probably air around September 14th, which is like next Wednesday.
Okay.
You guys got a couple games coming up. Do you know your schedule off the top of your head? You want me to read it off?
You can read it off.
I think you guys have September 15th, if you guys are around Cal State San Marcos, you guys will be playing there at Cal State San Marcos. And then Saturday, September 17th at Cal State East Bay. Yes. You have a favorite school that you've gone to that you've played against?
I really enjoy playing against Pomona just because I have like one of my best friends also goes there that I went to high school with.
Okay.
And so it's ironic that we're just in the same conference now. But I really like playing Pomona. They're a really good team. And they challenge us like every single time we play them, they challenge us. And so it's really a good game when we play them. We're both very good teams. So it's nice to like kind of see the battle and see like who's going to win this one, like who's going to win this year. And so I'm excited to play them. San Bernardino is always a hard game for us. Thankfully, we were able to beat them last year right before playoffs. But that's the first time we beat them in 5 years.
Wow.
And so they always beat us. But this year, we're hopeful that we're going to be first in the conference. There should be no reason why we aren't. And so we play them the same weekend we play Pomona, which is not next weekend, but the week after that. Okay. And they're here. So those are going to be two very big games for us that are really going to like set our season and see like where we stand as far as that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ayjah, for coming in. Really appreciate it. And to anyone out there listening, go watch and support.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
So there you have it. There was my interview with Ayjah Landers, your star volleyball player here at Cal State LA for your women's volleyball program. If you guys want to catch a game this weekend, there are 2 away games that are probably going to be tough to make. September 15th, that is Thursday at 5 p.m. We have a game at Cal State San Marcos. And then September 17th, that is Saturday at 1 p.m., there's a game at Cal State East Bay. Those are very difficult games to make it out to. So if you'd like to make it to a home game, we do have games September 23rd. That's a Friday at 5 p.m. versus Cal State San Bernardino. Ayjah said it herself, one of her favorite games to play because it is one of the more competitive games of the year going up against San Bernardino. And then September 24th, that is Saturday at 3 p.m. We have a game here as well versus Cal Poly Pomona, one of Ayjah's favorite matchups again. So those are 2 great games coming up next weekend. If you guys would like to make it out, come out to Cal State LA. Bring your school ID if you are a student, and you will likely get in for free. With that being said, if you want to go out and watch any other games, those 2 weekends don't work out for you at all, head over to lagoldeneagles.com/sports. Go over to our women's volleyball schedule. You can see the entire schedule all the way through November. And if you'd like to check out any other sports, obviously click ahead, go around, look in to see what sport you're interested in. Go see what schedule works best for you to make it out to a game. We would love your support here at Cal State LA. Thank you guys so much for listening to my show from the sideline. Until next time, I'm Joshua Giron. I'll see you guys.